Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at Factorio. As far as the developer is concerned, I don't believe they've got like a company name, but it is made by a few people in the Czech Republic. And I of course will link in the description to their webpage where you can also download a demo as well as buy the game. And the game is available in a few different versions. I believe the cheapest is about €10 or $14. But with that, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off on one of the... I actually might start off with the very first level of campaign, or maybe I'll do like level 2 here. And then I'm going to jump into something that is quite a bit more advanced to kind of show where the game starts and what it ends up being. So, as you can see, it starts off, it is kind of... I'm going to make some comparisons to things like Minecraft and Terraria. And the reason for that is because there is some of that comparison to be made. It's a pretty apt comparison, but I think that it does a lot of things differently. And as far as like Minecraft goes, let me actually see here real quick. I'm gonna turn the sound down just a little bit. Alright, as far as like the Minecraft comparison goes, I would say that it is pretty similar to something like Tekkit, which of course I'm also doing a series on, although I don't know a lot about Tekkit yet. So as you saw there, we had a little bit of combat. Alright, so basically what's going on here is this is just like the campaign mode, and there's campaign mode, and then there is also kind of a just full-fledged, you just enter a random world and you kind of do what you want kind of thing. And basically what happens here is that we are going to sort of kind of build factories in a way to kind of just automate everything. That's kind of the goal at the end here, is that just about everything will end up being automated, and it's pretty crazy once you get to some high level stuff. So what I'm doing here, let's see, I need stone furnaces and burner mining drills. So what we've got here going is this, these are mining for us. So now we don't have to mine up coal, because this is going to mine coal. These are transport tracks. This is an inserter, which is putting it right into a chest. Similar situation over here, except this needs to be smelted. So it's being taken to a furnace first, and then being smelted into iron plates. And that's basically what's going on. This is like very simple, low-level kind of automation, basically. And what's going to happen is that we're going to be automating a lot of stuff. So one thing that I want to maybe do here is first of all, I need to get some stone, and then maybe I want to make like a drill and put it over a patch of stone so that I can kind of automate stone. So the way that that this section of the game works, these campaigns, is that it kind of tutorializes things by showing you patterns of systems, and then from those patterns you can kind of figure out what to do from there. But this is like a little look at how to start. I think at this point I'm going to go into something a little more advanced. Yeah, probably I think I'll do level 1 here. Alright, so this is more of what the game is going to end up looking like. So that was, like I said, that was a very base level kind of operation going on there. This is more along the lines of what things will quickly start looking like, because once you've automated some of the some of the beginning things, you are going to want to automate bigger things, of course. Excuse me. So let me show off kind of what's going on here. Goodness. So we have, these are electric mining drills. So this all runs on power. So we start dealing with electricity. So what we've got is we've got offshore pumps bringing in water, because then we've got these boilers and these steam engines, and we need the water for steam as well as keeping things cool. We've got automated gun turrets here, so even combat becomes automated. We've got all these underground pipes that you can use so that you can have steam engines that are a little farther away, and then of course these are all like electricity poles that are kind of running around and powering everything. So at this point a lot of stuff is built on power. So like I said, these are electric mining drills. Obviously these are doing copper. The cool thing about these transport tracks is, as you can see, they can have two sides with different materials. So one side here has coal while the other has iron, and that becomes really useful. And then down here we actually have like some assembling machines. So these basically build an assembling machine, and with an assembling machine you can basically tell it to craft a certain recipe. And then, so like what we have here is these are crafting a certain thing, and then we've got these tracks giving those ingredients to it so that it can then finish the process and bring out another transport belt. So you know, this is like a pretty kind of big setup here, but you know, that's what we're going for in the end, and things get pretty crazy. As you can see, it's like a pretty decent sized map for what we have here, and this is just like a little campaign thing, and that's kind of the goal here. So like, for example, we've got objectives here. My objective is to craft and build a lab. So I can go look through the things that I can make. I can make 5 labs, so I'll go ahead and make 1 for now. I will not play through all of this mission in particular. And honestly, it's kind of an interesting game to even try and do like this quick look at, because it's so hard to kind of show off everything about the game in like such a small amount of time. So alright, yep. So you saw there that we've got technologies, and basically the way this works is that once we have a lab and we've picked a technology, we can make these science packs in order to kind of research things, and by researching things we unlock more recipes, and then with more recipes, of course, we can build bigger things, kind of build more complicated things. And that's kind of the basis of what's going on here, at kind of a maybe like a mid-level game, I would say, of Factorio. Things obviously just keep building upon this and keep getting bigger and crazier, and you know, everything just kind of builds and builds and builds and builds. And that's kind of the point, is that you know, we are going to just keep finding ways to automate things for us. So what I've found is that a lot of the time what will happen is that for a while I will do things like manually. So maybe I will be mining, things like that, and then I realize that that's not the best way to do it. And so I will kind of fiddle around with stuff and figure out a way to kind of automate whatever it is that I'm doing a lot, because of course you don't want to be repeating the same tasks over and over again, simply because this game has the tools there for you to be able to kind of automate everything, and that's the goal in the end, is to kind of automate things. So you know, that's what's going on with this. This is just going to research stuff. I'll let this research, and I think after that maybe I'll jump ahead one more level and we will show off a bit of that in an area where things aren't quite so finished when we start. So there will actually be some stuff for us to kind of fix. This is more of a just kind of wait around and let things kind of take their course sort of mission here. But that's because of the way that the campaign modes work. So you can see over here that these took care of auto combat basically, which is nice. I will say I'm not a huge fan of the combat, but it's almost a moot point because things just immediately become automatic. So, once you have, once you've kind of taken care of. Okay, let me see here. I want to. So what, automobilism? So what do I need? So we can actually look at what we need here. I'm actually not going to follow through with that. Like I said, I'm going to jump forward a level, but you can see kind of where that works out. I'm not sure about mods. Like, I don't actually know. It makes me feel like people are making mods and that it's there, which is nice. And then there's a map editor as well. So if I jump into custom scenario, you can just kind of sandbox, free play, stuff like that. But I think the real draw here for now is the campaign section, which I think is cool. I think it's nice that it's here. So this is after, basically that last mission was like, build a car so that you can get over to this base and help them. So you can see, here's our car. But when we get here, it's already been attacked. You can see like a lot of stuff is not going well. A lot of stuff has been kind of destroyed. And we're just left with kind of trying to figure out how to work this back. And I will kind of do a survey here on my own as I maybe talk about some of the other aspects of the game. Obviously, I think the big draw here is the gameplay. I don't think that there's any argument that could be made kind of away from that thought. Like, the gameplay is definitely the biggest focus. But that being said, I feel like the art and the music and the sound in the game, stuff like that, are also really worth discussing. And I feel very positively about all of that. I have been very pleased with the way the game looks. It's not for everyone. You can actually zoom in really closely here. Like, if you want like a really personal view, I kind of just like that there's a wide range of how you can look at the game, because it just sort of makes things basically as personal as you want it to be, or like as micromanagement as you want it to be, maybe another like way of putting it. Because if you want, you can absolutely like zoom in like that and look very closely at everything. I'm looking for a boiler. Maybe I need to research to get it. Oh, or maybe I just need to look in the right place. So 1, 2, 3, 4 should do it. Alright. And then like, so part of that of course is also like the interface, because obviously with a game like this, having a good interface is extremely important, and I would say that the interface here is excellent. I have not really found anything at any point that I was like confused by. I pretty much can just kind of jump in and understand everything from the start, which is obviously the goal here. Especially with a game like this where kind of understanding things is so crucial. Oh, I flipped that the wrong way. And all the hotkeys are pretty standard, as well as just being helpful in general. Like, it's really, really nice having the hotkeys there, because they, if you spend a few minutes and learn the hotkeys, it can save you so much time. Okay, so I need to make one more yellow inserter. I'll probably need more later anyways, but that should sort of solve this situation, I believe. So basically what's happening here is that we are going in here and just sort of fixing everything, because of course we've got a lot of broken things, stuff like that. And the nice thing again is like we've got this really nice form of tutorialization in that we've got kind of broken pieces where we can see the patterns of what was there, and I think that's a really good way of doing it. Like, the game, it doesn't hold your hand, but also it doesn't. I don't really know how to say it exactly, but like it just makes it kind of easy, I guess, to kind of learn for yourself what you're doing. and I think that is a really good quality for the game to have. Again, like I said, tons of nice hotkeys to have, things like that. In general, like everything about the game just works really, really well. I've had a great time with it so far, and I'm planning on spending a lot more time with it. I know I've mentioned a few times on the channel already my interest in potentially Let's Playing it to some extent, and I think that is definitely going to happen because I'm having a great time with it so far, like I said, and I don't see that changing. Like it just works for me so far, so I would not be surprised, like I said, to see me Let's Play it, even maybe as early as this week, starting that. But yeah, what else haven't I mentioned? Sound design is really good, I think. All the machines kind of have sound to them, things like that, and it really gives off a good feel of like your factory going, because you definitely can hear kind of what's going on with the factory once you've got things up and running. Okay, we are missing an electric connection. I think probably somewhere way up here. Like this, even? Might be. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think these aren't... Oh, no, they are connected. Okay, so we are missing... Oh. Gotcha. So, we'll do that. Does that... Yeah, that solves so many problems. Okay, so now we've kind of got this all sort of worked out. Perfect. So now I'm going to place some of these here. And then you can kind of quickly see how this is going to start getting automated pretty quickly here. And of course I'm not like going for the actual objective right now. I was just sort of showing things off because the objective is very similar to the objective from the last one, actually, where we are going to be researching a certain technology. Like we have to research railway transportation for this one. So that's the goal here. So we're going to, click on railway, automated railway transportation, and see what we need. So we need railway. Again, just like really logical kind of interface here. Like I've never really been confused about anything at any point. And I think that really just speaks to the great design of the game, because it is, it does have a lot of great design to it. Like I said, it doesn't really tutorialize things, but, well, it does, but not in like an explicit way. It doesn't like say, here's the steps of how you make this stuff. It's more like it shows you a pattern and says, you see the pattern, copy it. And I like that. Personally, I find that to be kind of a good way of doing things. I think it's certainly an interesting way of doing things, and it might not work for everyone, but it works for me, and I think I like seeing that. Because I can look at these patterns, and based on what's here, even though so much of this is wrecked, I will be able to kind of copy this if I want, and sort of start up automation of stuff again. And that's really the goal here, is again to kind of automate everything. So I think from an art perspective, it's really kind of hitting all the right points. I think from a game design perspective, it's hitting all the right points, and even from a sound perspective, I think there's a lot of good stuff going on here. I haven't been like super drawn into the soundtrack, but it's also been just kind of a nice thing to have in the background while I play. I find I'm not like, I don't really need to be super drawn into this kind of soundtrack, because it just needs to be something that's pleasant, I find. And that's pretty much enough for me, honestly. And that's how I pretty much feel about the soundtrack, at least. Let me see. So we can look at these patterns and see which direction these are going, rotate them, and then start placing. So I will do just that. But yeah, honestly, like I said, I think this is absolutely a game that is worth your money. As far as I know, it's not on Kickstarter yet. It is only an alpha, so I mean that's something to realize, is that you're buying into an alpha. But considering it's alpha, there's a lot of really great stuff here, and I absolutely think that it is very good, even in this early state. I've been extremely pleased, like I said, with the gameplay so far, and I'm definitely looking forward to digging into more, seeing what else I can do, seeing what else I can build, and kind of seeing where the rest of this campaign goes as well. Because I feel like that's one of the big advantages it has over some of the other options. I know a lot of people will probably compare this to something like Terraria or Minecraft, but I feel like having the campaign system here kind of gives it a big advantage. And I think that that's a good thing. But like I said, I think that probably covers basically everything I need to cover here for sort of a first look at the game. Like I said, my thoughts are very positive on it, and I've been just absolutely blown away with everything so far. And okay, I'm having a hard time seeing here what's going on. Oh, you know what? I've got that there for no reason. That would explain things, because I can just do that. Perfect. Yeah, but like I said, if you're into this kind of thing, if you are into sort of these sandbox style games, but maybe with a little bit more of kind of a technology bent, or kind of this is more of kind of a building a base and having to automate stuff for you. So, it really has a lot of thinking, a lot of design to it. So if you're into that kind of idea, I think that this is an extremely easy game to recommend for you, because like I said, everything about it has been very good so far, and I've been extremely happy with everything. But I think that will probably cover at least my Let's Look At. Like I said, I definitely expect to see more Factorio videos, a short, or maybe not so short, Factorio Let's Play, maybe even starting this week, we'll see. But yeah, definitely check out the channel for more Factorio in the future. But this is where I'm going to leave this off for today. Like I said, in the description is a link to where you can purchase the game, or just try out the demo, either. But as always, feel free to comment if you've got anything to comment about. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos every single day, and if you liked what you saw, then please do consider clicking the like button, because that helps me out a lot, and I definitely appreciate everything you do to help. But I think with that being said, that kind of wraps everything up. So, as always, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.